All right, drop a cold snap, take you out, and then domino effect starts. And you're all dead. Absolutely love it. This build is an absolute beast. It's a monster. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Ben Lee. Today we're going to be taking a look at my Borealis set build. This is insane, guys. The damage is incredible. The amount of CC that you put out with the freeze is nuts. I'm so glad that they fixed the Borealis set because the damage from this is absolutely top tier. Take a look at some of the footage and just get involved. It's absolutely insane. You just shred everything. Co-op or solo, you're gonna wreck face with this. And don't forget, guys, if you like the video, give it a like and consider subscribing. I'd love to have you part of the family. We've got an insane Discord going on with over 900 members now, which is absolutely amazing. The link for that is down in the description below, so I highly recommend checking that out. We got the Outriders looking for group sections, as well as a few other games and stuff we've started now, so come and check it out. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, let's start by taking a look at the skills. So we're using blighted turret. There's a good reason for using blighted turret and not freeze turret, but trust me, you're going to want to use blighted turret with this build. Blighted rounds, this one again, absolutely mandatory, and cold snap is just absolutely insane. It's really good. The cooldown is a little long for some people, but trust me, it's absolutely amazing when you use it. And getting the AoE clears that you get from Icicle Storm from the Borealis chest piece, which I'll go over in a little bit, is just really nice. So I highly recommend taking cold snap. Moving over to the class tree, we've gone up top. This is a very typical Technomancer firepower build. Just like the other ones that I've got on the channel, this is the build you're going to want to go for. You could potentially swap this anomalous body here for blur screen. That choice would be up to you, but this is the one that I like. You know, we're getting things like the nitrogen capsules, which decrease the distance considered to be long range by 3 meters. We're picking up like extra damage to toxic, more extra damage to toxic. This one here, 2 sides of the power, increased damage received from all sources by 15%, but you deal 20% extra damage, which is great. Obviously, we're using an assault weapon in this build, the absolute zero, so assault master is really mandatory. But empowering antenna, this is why you're going to be using your blighted turret. So activating decay increases weapon damage for you and your allies by 40% for 10 seconds. And with the 10-second buff, it's only on a 7.1 second cooldown, so you can keep this up indefinitely. It's very, very strong. All right, moving over to our items and stuff here, right? We're using the absolute zero for this build because it's got crit damage, it's got long range damage, and the status power is also really good for the duration of the cold snap. So it's really good across the board. I got one with 96k firepower, which is really high, so that's really nice, but it doesn't matter even if you have one that's, say, 75k firepower, you're still going to wreck face with it. So on here, I've put on Dark Sacrifice, and Dark Sacrifice you can get on the Fatal Symbiote, but I've chosen to put it on here. You could, for example, use Killing Spree, which you can get from an Amber Vault, and you could put that on. I just rate Dark Sacrifice higher. You don't have to ramp up for the damage. You take a little bit of health damage as you're going along, but it's nothing that you can't handle with this build at all. So Dark Sacrifice is top tier for that. And obviously you don't need to worry about your secondary weapons at all because you're using blighted rounds, so you're not changing weapons. Coming over to the armor here, we've got bonus firepower, close range damage, and long range damage. Now, you definitely want to have bonus firepower and long range damage on your purple items. However, close range damage is really good, but you could potentially have cooldown reduction if you want your cold snap to be on a lower cooldown, or you could have status power if you want your cold snap to freeze things for longer. So that's a choice for you. So I've put on radical therapy, deal 15% more damage against enemies afflicted by toxic, which is really strong. And then the only defensive mod I've got in is mitigation from death, and killing enemies while aiming down sights grants 45k armor points for 10 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. This is an absolute S tier defensive mod, and it's really good, so I highly recommend at least giving it a go by putting this in, but you could potentially take it out and put in something like Dum Dum bullets to get even more damage. Coming down to the chest piece here, we've got bonus firepower, status power, long range damage on the robe of the Borealis. This has got Icicle Storm, so Cold Snap. Killing enemies frozen by the skill makes them explode, dealing 252k damage in a 5 meter radius. It's very strong. It feels amazing to use. So yeah, really, really good that. And then on here, I've put on Captain Hunter, and Captain Hunter you can get from the gloves of the cannonball, but it just increases your damage to elites by 25%. Really super strong. Highly recommend having it in the build. Just a little future edit here. I forgot to say what the actual set bonus does for the Borealis set. So increased damage on frozen enemies by 90%. And also critical hit damage is increased by 10% for all party members for 8 seconds after cold snap usage. Coming down, I'm using the Borealis waistcloth here as well. We've got Bloodlust on here. So killing shots increase your firepower by 17.5k, stacks up to 3 times, deteriorates every 10 seconds. It's an incredibly strong, absolute S tier, tier 2 mod, and I completely recommend having it in your build. Then we've got freezing boost, so boost the damage against enemies afflicted by freeze by 15%. We've kept that one in. Now I've chosen to use the gloves. Even though it's got max health, it's totally fine. It's because then we're not wasting a mod. For example, if I was to put on the helmet, I would have to have either Painful Chill or Twins. So I don't want either of those two, even though this has bonus firepower, as I said. But it's more important for me personally to have the correct mods than it is to get that tiny bit of extra firepower, because we're doing so much damage anyway, it's not needed. So Shatter, deal 25% more damage against enemies affected by freeze. Very, very strong mod for this build, so that's great having that in. And also Sharp Eye is really, really strong as well. And Sharp Eye you can get from either the boots of the Borealis Monarch or from Sergio's beret. Very strong. It's essentially another kind of bloodlust. So killing enemies while aiming down the sights, which you're doing anyway, grants 16k firepower for 20 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. Incredibly strong. Highly recommend having it in. And then coming down to the boots here, again, we've got bonus firepower, long range damage, and close range damage. And then I've put on euthaniser, which you can get from the Plague Sower's hands here. And euthaniser deal 25% more damage against enemies afflicted by toxic, so incredibly strong there. And then the last one I've got is toxic lead. Killing shots on enemies affected by toxic replenishes 40% of the ammo in your magazine. So this is how we keep up the infinite ammo. I do at this point want to say that if you're not the host, you definitely want to have another mod in as well. And if I just come over to Zahidi here, if you're off host, toxic lead doesn't always work properly, or sometimes it's just a lot harder for you to get your ammo back. What I would do in that case is swap out radical therapy here for trick up the sleeve. So blighted rounds while the skill is active, killing shots give you 30% extra bullets in your mag. I would have this and toxic lead in your build. Trust me, it doesn't matter about the tiny bit of damage drop off from the 15% from radical therapy. It's not significant enough to really worry about. It's more important to keep up your rounds. So give that a go if you're struggling for rounds. Alright guys, so that's the build there. It's absolutely insane. There's a lot of tier 3 mods in here. It is an endgame build, but just because I'm really nice, I've even taken the time to put all the mods on the screen for you now. And remember, if you like this, to go down and like the video. Alright guys, so that's my Freeze Borealis set build using the Absolute Zero. It's insane. The damage is amazing. You get some nice AoE off with Cold Snap, but it's just really nice to clear. It's really easy to get like critical shots and things on the elites because of the fact that you're freezing them all the time, and it just feels so satisfying to use. I'm just so grateful they fixed the Borealis Monarch set buff, and to be able to finally bring you guys this build, because I've been holding it back for a couple of weeks now because obviously we've been waiting for the patch. So I'm so glad that's all sorted through. But guys, if you like the video, remember to hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you've learned anything. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the Discord channel. As I said, link is in the description below. It's absolutely insane there. We've got the Outriders looking for group section, as well as just general chat and people just really coming together as such a nice sense of family, home, and community. So love to see you guys in there. Please do check it out. And remember, I do stream right here on the channel, generally kind of like 4 to 6 times a week. And you can also catch me on twitch.tv/BenLeeGaming if you prefer to watch there. So I'm around a lot, so I'd love to see you guys pop into the stream and say hi. And let me know what you think of this build down below in the comments. If you like this build, or if you think there's anything else you'd like to try, any other mods or anything, then let me know. And if you're going to use the build, then let me know as well, because I'd love to know who you guys are. But yeah, I'll leave you guys here with the footage of the CT15 boomtown that I did, so you can check out the damage through. It's just absolutely nuts. So guys, if you made it this far as well, thank you very much. Go down in the comments and type I'm amazing, because you are. And until the next one, guys, I hope you've at least learned something, and I also hope you have a very nice day. But until then, see you now.